Lesson 3. I do not understand anything I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place. Apply this idea in the same way as the previous ones, without making distinctions of any kind. Whatever you see becomes a proper subject for applying the idea. Be sure that you do not question the suitability of anything for application of the idea. These are not exercises in judgment. Anything is suitable if you see it. Some of the things you see may have emotionally charged meaning for you. Try to lay such feelings aside and merely use these things exactly as you would anything else. The point of the exercises is to help you clear your mind of all past associations, to see things exactly as they appear to you now, and to realize how little you really understand about them. It is therefore essential that you keep a perfectly open mind, unhampered by judgment, in selecting the things to which the idea for the day is to be applied. For this purpose, one thing is like another, equally suitable and therefore equally useful. Remember, this is not just about reading the words, this is about doing the practice. And the specifics for these first 3 lessons was outlined in lesson 1. Rest your eyes on things close to you and then on things a little bit further away. Do this for only about a minute or so, and do that twice a day, preferably morning and night. So what we're doing is we're resting our eyes, whatever our eyes land on. This is about universal application again, and again we will go deeper later on. Right now we are taking baby steps. These are very foundational introductory steps. It's introducing you to the concept and the practice. Once you have gotten that concept and practice down, it will take you farther throughout the year-long training. This is a perfect explanation and reiteration of those couple of rules that he specified earlier on in the introduction and in the previous lessons. Make no distinctions. Make no conscious selections to include or exclude anything. This is an introductory teaching into being conscious, noticing our judgments, either positive judgment or negative judgment, when we are coming from a place that is not neutral, not objective. We cannot truly understand something, like ultimately understand something from a place of higher wisdom, from the mind and eyes of God, if we're coming from a place of judgment, whether it's positive judgment or negative judgment, because we're not objective. And we can't get to that place of higher wisdom from a non-objective place, from a biased place. Judgment, either positive or negative, is a skewing, it's misguidance, and it's the opposite of love. The Course calls that kind of positive, skewed judgment that we are probably not aware that we're doing most times conscious selection. It's misguided, even if it's in a positive vein. It's special favor. It's conscious inclusion, and the Course calls that specialness. But it's still judgment. It's still not objective. And we are more familiar and more aware, even if we don't like it, of the traditional negative judgment, skewing, misguidance. It is also conscious selection. You're consciously excluding. You're consciously separating. You're consciously selecting to see that person in a guilty way, in a condemning way, and blaming them. So it's conscious selection, judgment. You're skewing how you see someone, and it gets in the way of the miracle and higher understanding. So that is why we don't understand anything we see if we're coming from a place where we're associating and identifying it with the meaning we're bringing to it. Judgment interferes with miracle working because the miracle worker has to have a clear, objective beginner's mind, one that is purified of any judgment, any lovelessness, any past associations, anything that would stand in the way of a clear, perfect, loving perception. The miracle worker must live in a place of divine neutrality. That's what miracle readiness really is. It's where we have aligned ourselves internally. We've accepted the atonement. We've accepted purification, which is a portal to the miraculous for ourselves, and cleared up anything standing in the way of that flow so that we can hear the guidance and that we can understand from a place of higher wisdom. The miracle worker must accept the atonement, or the process through which purification occurs, for himself. That's the primary responsibility of the miracle worker, because we need to be in that place of divine neutrality. We need to be miracle ready, because that's step one, and then step two is miracle doing. So from that place of divine neutrality, we can then ask God to gently guide our thinking, give us the direction, show us how to see things differently. Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say, and to whom? But first we have to hit that sweet spot of neutrality within us, the purification process of, I don't know what this means. I know, I don't know. Dear God, show me what I need to know. Tell me what I need to know. And that is the place of ultimate understanding. Miracle workers need to have that clear, divinely neutral beginner's mind, because we need to hear very clearly the voice for God within us that's going to guide us in our day-to-day life, that's going to provide solutions for the questions we ask, that's going to commune with us on everything, and to hear miracle impulses. There are misguided impulses and there are miracle impulses. And we need to know the difference, because we're working miracles and we want to work the ones God has selected for us to work, because we're the ones who would be most helpful and most useful in that specific situation. Why is all of this, I don't understand anything, I don't understand that, I don't understand this, so important? Because like I said at the beginning of this commentary, we are moving forward to deeper application of this idea that will involve situations and people and circumstances that will have emotional backing. It said in this lesson, there might be items that you see that have an emotion, bring up an emotional charge for you. Well, there's people in relationships that will do that too, and that's where the real work begins. So we're starting with things that you might think, what do you mean this chair doesn't mean anything? And I don't understand that water bottle and that lamp doesn't mean... Because it's easier to practice with non-emotionally charged items, because it gets really complicated later on and you need to be ready. Until we get to that place of non-judgment, objectivity, divine neutrality, we cannot truly, ultimately understand from the place of highest wisdom that God does. And that is what we're aiming to return to, because that is who we really are at our core. All of these judgments and associations and interpretations have gotten in the way of us being able to just automatically go there. But the good news is we're on our way. We're on lesson 3. We've done it, lesson 3. And there is an entire year's worth of lessons and an entire course and an entire training laid out for you, that you just simply have to open the book and do the lesson and read the words and use them. It's that simple to be willing, and you have help. You're not alone in this process. Remember, God is here to help you, and these pages, this training, this message is here to relay to you exactly how to do that. So do the practice. Remember, right now, this is why we're learning all of these foundational lessons, to strengthen our muscles so that later on, when we have relationships coming up and things that are harder and we have more resistance to, we are practiced, we are aware, and we're more likely to apply it to that situation as well. See you tomorrow.